How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, show about fishing random takes from Atlanta 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am Tim Wagner from the future.
Tim, it's nice of you to join us from the metaverse.
Yeah, I am just living life 365. I'm having a good time. I'm out here just living every moment. I can't even explain what's going. I'm in the future. We use different words.
You're in the future. You're literally, it's 2024 and you're in the future, man.
I'm in the future and we use different words and I'm just forgetting how to communicate with you guys. I gotta take this shit off.
Yeah. You got to come over to, go over to YouTube and check out the intro to that video. That's a visual gag. That was fun. It's just
is a visual gag.
It looks so good.
Also, I'll let everybody know a little bit on the audio side of things. That I was wearing a VR headset and I got the MetaQuest 3 for Christmas. And it is so dope. The guns in there are ridiculous. I was telling you before we started this thing, there's a Population 1 game that's like a battle royale. I know there's a bunch of other shooters too, so I want to play with all the other ones too, like especially the ones that you have to pay to play, because I'm sure those like really went into the graphics well.
Right.
But this one's like free. Hop on, it's one of those like Fortnite where you can buy your extra stuff, but you load it by like putting the magazine in, you turn it over to like pull the slide back to actually use the gun. Every time you're out of ammo, you got to like reload the magazine, do it again. It's crazy. One shooters, you pull the bolt back just like it's a real rifle. It's nuts.
Fuck, that's cool.
But I gotta tell you,
that's cool.
So in that Population 1, there is like a lobby. When you start up, you're in the room, but you're waiting. Everybody's coming in.
Like Fortnite, right? Where there's people there and you're just bouncing around. Okay.
Yep. So you're just grabbing guns and kind of like playing around with them and stuff. And some dude comes over and he's like, let me see how much damage this gun does. And he like shoots me in the face. And because it shows you the number of like how much damage you're doing to the person.
Yep.
So he shoots me and then he's just like, oh, interesting. And then he was just like, oh, I'm sorry, man. That wasn't cool of me. He's like, stay still. I'm like, okay. And I'm standing there. And dude, it feels weird because these people are like literally like in front of you. And the guy's talking. Right. He's not really there, but even a character there with a voice.
Yeah.
That's right in your face.
Is a real voice. It feels
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real person. He's like, let me make it up to you. He like crouches down and just starts fucking jerking me off. Now that would be weird enough by itself, but I'm playing online with my 11-year-old nephew who's laughing his ass off at what he's seeing. And then I start hamming it up a little bit because it maps your hands and stuff. So as the guy's going, I'm just like putting my hands up like, oh, what's happening here? And then like when I'm done, my wife is when we're done playing, not when as soon as I said it, I was like, well, that's not a bit. But when we were done playing and stuff, my wife was just like, how did it go? And I was like, well, me and Braxton won, but before the game started, some guy jerked me off right in front of him. She's like, what? And I'm like, totally got a hand job. It was nuts.
It was nuts.
Oh, and I can only imagine what it looked like for other people because he was like this he looked like he was like a SWAT guy. We were talking Resident Evil a little bit. He looked like what's that guy's name? Dang it. Now
Tofu?
Brain farting. No, the SWAT guy
not
in
Tofu.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
It starts with an H or something.
Are you talking about like the main bad guy from Resident Evil 1?
No, maybe.
Because Leon is the one that has in 2, Leon's wearing his like RPD.
No, this one's like a full guy, and in 4 you can play him in Mercenaries, and he's part of the game someplace else, and I can't remember what his name is.
Oh shit!
It's like a full like SWAT gear, and his name is like
Hunk
or something. Hunk, is it Hunk?
Yeah, I think so.
I was gonna say like
you said Puck. right?
I said Huck because I was like,
Huck? Yeah, it's
it's
Huck or
something like
Hunk or
that.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it was like that, like a full out, like
Like
swatted out
full
dude,
swatted out.
and I look like this half gold, half blue demon thing with these horns and stuff, and I'm standing
Fuck
there,
yeah, dude.
and then I'm
Giving all
getting jerked
sci-fi.
off by this. Yeah, it was crazy. So
And you're getting jerked off by a SWAT guy.
I'm getting jerked out by a SWAT guy. Yeah, it was, and that's how we started it off. And then I'm just picturing like some like adults, not adults. I'm an adult, but I don't, I don't think of it like that. But I think about some parents that are like more prude, where they're just,
Mm.
their kids hopping on there and just be like, well, let me see if it's suitable for you. And they put on the headset and they just see like people getting shot in the face, and then some guy just being like, oh, that guy shot another guy point blank in the face. I don't know if you should play this. Oh, now he's making it up to him by jerking him off. I definitely don't think you're ready for this. Then they're just like a super religious church going family, and the guy just like takes off the headset and he's all like wide eyed. The wife's like, "What did you see in there?" Murder and
Murder.
hand jobs. And she's like, "What?" And she's like, there was a SWAT guy that shot this giant demon looking thing in the face, and then he jerked him off.
Any investors out there, Real AF TV is trying to make a VR game called Murder and Hand Jobs. So, hit us up. Go over to realaf.tv/contact. If you're a VC and we need a pile of money to make the video game Murder and Hand Jobs.
Murder and hand. We can workshop the title Murderous Hand Jobs.
Yeah.
Murder.
We're
okay. Yeah, we got ideas. We're fine. You got good ideas. We got good ideas. Let's talk. Murder and hand jobs.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Hey, before we start too, I'm gonna crack this open and I'm gonna pour this out real quick because I sent you a little snippet of this in the real world, but this Campfire Munchies
dude
is a freaking experience,
dude.
It is unlike any beer I've ever had. It's thick as hell. Whoops.
Is it?
It's
weird.
Yeah,
because it's Russian Imperial.
It's an Imperial Stout.
Oh
yeah,
I thought it was Russian. Either way, those Imperial
like
whatevers, dude.
Motor oil.
It's almost like syrup.
Do you see how the foam?
The foam, though, dude.
It just keeps going up too. It's so sneaky. It's like it has a hard time like escaping. Like when I poured it out the one day, I'm like, oh, it should be fine. And the foam's like an inch and a half from the top, and it kept going up, and I'm like, it'll stop. And then it like to the top, and I'm like, it needs to stop. And then it like actually overflowed, and I was like, shut up, dude.
Holy
what is happening?
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because of the thickness that it like doesn't let it pour out as well or something. I don't know. It's crazy. But I'll tell you this. On the front end, it is easily the sweetest beer I've ever had.
What?
But it's also bitter in the back. It's super sweet. It's like chocolatey.
Yeah.
You should only have 1, 2. Because first off, it's 9% alcohol.
Right.
And it is fart fuel like a motherfucker. I had to on Christmas. I was going to say on Easter because it felt like Easter.
Right. With the weather.
It was like, raining in like 50 here in Minnesota is like, what the shit?
Yeah.
But I drank 2 of them, almost 2 of them. I gave a little bit to my uncle who doesn't drink beer normally. So he like has a little bit of this and he's just taken off to I don't know if he thinks like I should get a dark beer sometime. Like you're never going to have a dark beer like this again, dude. No. I don't know what to tell you. But I don't think he really was into it.
That's a heavy fucking beer to hit if you're not really a beer drinker. Jesus Christ.
I don't think I'll buy it again either, but it's because it's just nuts for a 4-pack. It's like I paid $21 for a 4-pack. So that's nuts. But those 2 beer I had was like at lunch. And by supper time, when it was like really digesting everything, plus I had like all the the Christmas food.
Yep.
Dude, I'm not kidding you. I was farting like once every 2 minutes, and they were hot. And I was just like, Blom. And my wife is just like, you were just not caring. And I was like, I didn't have a choice. If I would have held those in, I would have blew up. There's
right.
I couldn't stop farting. And then I thought maybe it was like something I ate, and I drank one the other night by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to bed that night. And when I woke up in the morning, like for the first hour and a half of work, I'm just like, and like, fuck, man, I'm burning my asshole here, dude. It's so just big hot. They're nuts. So tomorrow should be fun, but
hey. Bottoms up, eh?
Bottoms up.
Hey, it's New Year's. It's episode 81. We're going to go over our fishing goals from last year, from 2023, and we're going to establish the new ones for 2024. Remember, you can go over to realaf.tv and you can see these, the goals currently, 2023. Should be down by the time the podcast goes live. Hopefully, I got around to editing that. We're going to get into the 2024 goals. And before we do that, we're going to stick with the regularly scheduled program and get into some fishing news.
Hell yeah.
You know what? Nope. I'm just going to do what I do. Dude, that catches the bomb.
Ooh.
This isn't an actual fishing thing.
Yeah.
But here it is. Okay. So Alfie and Zach are from the UK, of course, because it's ZAK and Alfie. You only get those names in the UK.
I was wondering.
Right. Both 18 years old were magnet fishing in the River Y, W-Y-E. I don't know. I speak English, but I probably am pronouncing that wrong anyway. The River Y in Hereford, that's in London. It looks like it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, UK. No, there's 54,000 people there, and it's just a river that runs through the middle of the town.
River Y.
So Alfie and Zach are out there magnet fishing, and I put this here because it's a topic I've been dancing around whenever. Okay, so this has been hot for a year and a half, if not longer.
Yeah,
this magnet fishing thing.
Yeah,
super popular, right? You see a lot of it.
Oh yeah, I hear people talking about it. People that I don't like, that don't care about fishing. I mentioned how I like fishing too, and they're just like, "Oh, like magnet fishing." Like, really? Do you do it? And they're like, "No." Like, okay, cool.
So that's why I brought this up, because I wanted to see where that part of the conversation would go. I put this, and that's why I put this in here, is because it has a tie to actual angling, and it is a topic that like you can't get around if you search internet fishing. Like if you search fishing on the internet, you can't fucking get around magnet fishing. And Tim just proved that with your real world experience. Magnet fishing? No, like I fucking catch real animals. Like
I like to go fishing, dude. I like to catch them and then fillet them and then eat them.
Right.
It's a whole cycle. And then they're just like, no, like, and then it's always the same thing where they're just like, do you? And then they're like, no, like, watch, like, just how you're talking about it now. They're like, oh, watch the YouTube videos though, and I think about it.
Yeah,
like you need to have some pretty heavy duty shit though,
for sure. And I've been dancing around the topic because I've thought about making it a topic a couple times, and then I'm like, no, because it's not fishing.
Yeah,
and. So I saw this story and I thought, okay, this is a perfect opportunity. Go over to YouTube. The link's there. This came from the Independent over there in the UK. This story did. But the reason why I put it in here is because it actually has a tie to fishing, to angling. Is Elfie and Zach are 18-year-old kids. I say kids because we're way past that, but these are 18-year-old teenagers who are running a fish and tackle shop there over in Hereford. So they're anglers, they're fishers. Like they are fishers that went out magnet fishing for fun. Like they were just like, I don't know, man. I guess we're gonna give this thing a try.
Right.
And they ended up pulling up. This is a quote. When the bomb squad came down and confirmed it instantly as a live American World War II hand grenade.
God damn.
Yeah, dude. Holy fuck, right?
Could you imagine while you're reeling it in, it pulls the pin?
Oh, fuck, dude. No.
And then all of a sudden just...
fucking guys are in front of your face.
Your first time going out, just be like, no. Oh, man. Hi, dude. Is that on video?
Yeah. This was a video. So if you click on the link in the YouTube video, it'll take you to the Independent. And they had the video.
Oh my gosh.
I actually didn't watch the video because I was very focused on just the story itself. But sounds like they filmed when the bomb squad blew it up, because they did. The bomb squad came.
Yeah.
Again, instantly identified. Oh, that's a World War II hand grenade.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna have to blow that thing up.
Yeah, we have to dispose of it. You can't, like, I'm sorry. I know you would like to keep it. You can't just have grenades.
Right.
That's crazy. Dude, I picture like you're just reeling it up. Like I don't even know. I'm picturing it like how I would be fishing for real. And then when you're excited and you get it up, but then it turns out that the fish you've caught could blow up and kill everyone. And you just have to go, oh my God.
Whoa. Oh fuck.
Dude,
you can't away. And you can't drop it.
Yeah. What do I do? What do I do? What do you mean? This fish, it could be a bomb, I think. I don't know. I'm not going to throw it back. I got to run. Oh, dude, that's gnarly. Could you imagine if it got, like, the wrong person got it?
Yeah.
And they were like, look at this. It's crazy. It looks like a real grenade. Haha, pulls the pin, just tosses it, just jokingly. And then you kill people. What would even happen? Do you get persecuted?
Yeah.
You killed 3 people and be like, well, I
manslaughter, dude.
Yeah.
In America, that's manslaughter.
It's gotta be, right? But you think, like, if you have it all on tape and you're just like, what is this? Is that real? Oh, the boom. And you're just like, no, I killed a bunch of people. Fuck. That's got to be so gnarly.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
isn't that crazy? Just to think.
Did you watch the
World War II?
Did you watch the whole video?
No, I didn't watch the video at all because I was focused on the story and entirely just like I just read it and was like, "Well,
I really want to know if the grenade was just literally like pull the pin and it still detonated, or if it was like something that they had to blow up."
Oh no, so they blew it up. Like the bomb squad destroyed it. So the bomb squad took it off to a field nearby, put an explosive on it, blew it up.
Oh, so they did put an explosive on it.
Yeah, it said it they used some fancy ass word, but yeah, they made it go away with their own. They set it off.
That's still that's necessary, and clearly like it was live, so you had to do it. But I really wanted to have a moment of pride there and be like, American engineering, what? Like,
Now they just blew it up. Explosive on explosive.
80 years of being underneath, 80 years of being in a river.
Right.
You pull it up and pull the pin. It still works perfectly.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking gnarly.
That would be so cool. But whatever. Still super sick that it was like still alive and still. But how creepy is that, dude?
I know. For real.
Just like you're diving down there and people are just like, are there fish? Are there sharks? Are there things that can get me? Dude, fuck the sharks. What about the grenades?
What about that fucking World War II grenade sitting over there? It's still alive. Dude. Nice. So nuts. So yeah, go over to YouTube. The video and the link, I should say, to the independent.co.uk will take you there, and you can read the little story and watch the video because it is in our YouTube link. Speaking of which, let's do a little housekeeping. I got the URL here in the notes, youtube.com/@realaftv. I always like to make people remember that, the @realaftv. We do have one short out there, so if you're on the shorts and you look up the @realaftv handle, you could find us. Tell a friend. Patreon. We got a break in the middle because how we're going to do this is we're going to go 2023 in review, which is going to be a bunch of fails. And then there's going to be 2024 goals in the second half. So this will still be a typical podcast with two halves. It's just not going to be fishing and random takes, like I said in the intro, because we do our 2024 kicker offer episode. So you'll hear the Patreon ad in the middle there. And if you're sharing this with friends, please do that. That would be awesome. Even if you're sharing on social media, just go, hey, every other week, these guys, they got a podcast that comes out on Monday. You got 2 weeks to fucking eat up 2 hours of time. No big deal. Right. Check them out. If you don't like listening to the full 2.5 hours or whatever the fuck we pull together here, we do drop every other week that means the off week. So we get a full 2-hour podcast on a Monday. The next Monday, there's nothing. But if you wait till Wednesday, you go over to YouTube, we got the first half of the podcast. And then on Friday, we got the second half of the podcast, which is usually the random take. Wednesday being the fishing topic. Leave us feedback on that. realaf.tv/contact. Let us know if that's still working for you guys out there. Leave comments in the YouTube videos. It'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Splendid.
Talking about these UK people who got us all fancy now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all it takes. Mention one place that's not quite like ours, and all of a sudden we're just like, I am different now. I sip my fancy beer with my pinky up. I know that's not a UK accent. Give me some slack. Cut me some
slack.
Cut me some dang slack here.
Sploosh. Jumping in to the fishing topic, which actually is going to span 2 parts. In this case, we're just going to talk fishing topics because this is the official start of our 2023 in review, Tim.
Yep.
Before we even read anything, how are you feeling?
Real shitty.
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too.
Man.
Real shitty about this one.
As soon as when we were talking about like the reviews, and then I started thinking, I'm like, fuck, dude. I started thinking about all the different things that we said last year, and
I know.
And
with such vigor and hope.
I know.
I remember. I didn't go back and listen to it, but
just bright-eyed, like 2023 will be different. And then I was looking through some of the stuff that was written down, and I'm like, oh my god. And then half of the stuff I'm like, I forgot that I said that, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot that I said that I forgot that the last time I said I forgot about it, and then this whole year goes by, and I'm like, I literally did it again. Shit.
I almost wrote down in one of my 2024 goals is get Tim a fishing vision board.
Dude. Okay. So without ruining too much of it, goal for 2024 is to write shit down.
Oh, and he's got the notebook out.
To actually get it. Yeah. Because I'm reading through this stuff and I'm like, do we talk about it one time? And then I don't think about it again until we get to this fucking show. And I'm like, those were my goals, correct. And I told myself those were my goals, but then nothing happened with it.
Right. I know.
I think it would be different if that other app that we were using wouldn't have turned into a bunch of shitheads.
Yeah, I know. And I thought about
'Cause
that today in prep for this. So
yeah,
just keep going. Don't even mention
what
the name. Yeah, we're gonna keep
right,
keep our
exactly, but that
names out
was
of
kinda
mouths.
like our digital vision board where we were just
Right.
tossing out ideas, writing down, and there was all those different channels and stuff, and it was like, a lot of times when I was having I'd have an idea, I'd throw it in there, I'd have like, I need to go back and review, I'd pop in there and just be
Mm.
like, "Oh, what's
Mm-hmm.
up?" And
Mm-hmm.
now there's like really no space, and I'm not making excuses, but it's
No, no.
just like if it's not front of mind for me,
Mm-hmm.
I will forget. My short-term memory is absolute dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to make it better, but like even at work, I will go and fill up my water bottle, set it down. I may have said this on the pod before. I will fill up my water bottle. I will set it down. I will go to the bathroom. I will be like, can't forget my water bottle. And I'm peeing, like thinking about it. And I'm just like thinking about my water bottle today. No way I'm going to forget it. Washing my hands. This is water. I need my water. Never going to forget. Talking about water. No way I can forget it now. And I'm like walking out, and like one guy like walking in at the same time. I'm like, oh shit, excuse me. And then he like walks past, and that was enough.
To just
I
make you
just
forget. Yeah.
stopped talking about water, and that's it. And then I walk right past it, and I'm driving on the way, and like 10 minutes down the road, I'd go, I could use a drink. And then I go, fuck.
Shit.
So it's like that one thing that'll jog my mind where,
Yeah.
like I'm constantly thinking about Real AF TV, and I'm constantly thinking about like what we could be doing. But at the same time, a lot of times without having the goals that I've set for myself or thought exactly what I was going to do, a lot of times I'll go, what was it I was going to do? And I was like, oh yeah, you fucking idiot. Record yourself fishing. And it never goes past that. I'm just like, duh, get the camera, go fishing.
Right. Right.
But then I forget like the secondary goals. Fish
Right.
for what? What are we doing today?
Right.
I don't know. Go catch
Right.
some fish and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. No, for sure. I get you, because it's almost like one of those it's almost it sounds, I don't want to say like a self-fulfilling prophecy where in like a negative way, but
Yeah.
what I'm really trying to get at is it's like one of those things where you just think about the thing as like, oh, I could get out today. I can turn on the camera today.
Mm-hmm.
Or and then you don't think about that. You're just like, oh, what do I need to do to turn the camera on today? What do I need to do to get a line wet and camera on at the same time? And then you just forget the other goal because you've refocused your attention. And I totally get that, because one of my 2024 goals, when we get into it,
Yeah,
is that where I thought I was going to do this, even though I didn't have it on my 2023 goals.
yeah,
And all I could think about was like, okay, I got to do this, this, and this. And I do 2 out of the 3 steps, and I could never get to the, third one to actually make it happen. And it wasn't even on my goal list. It was like, it was a new goal that I had just created for myself. And that was what I honed in on. I forgot to go back and look at other things to see if I could make them happen instead. That maybe only took 2 steps, It was my own self-distraction.
yeah.
So
that makes total sense, because that's a lot of what I have happening too, where I don't have excuses for anything. I just have like trying to self-evaluate after the fact and being like,
right.
where did it go wrong? And it's like like you were talking like third step. It's just like, oh, first 2 went smooth. Then I saw a dog.
Yeah.
Just something
right. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I know, like last year I kicked it off with like no excuses. And I think we really try to stick to the no excuses thing. And I'm not trying. I don't think this sounds like excuses at all. This is totally us evaluating before we get into the actual reviewing of the goals, and before we get in our 2024 goals. This is us looking back at our list high level and going, yeah, man, I think I just got distracted.
Hell yeah.
Now,
yeah, I mean,
not entirely, but I mean, Tim, put up 26 good photos or short videos. I got 1 fucking short video out.
Yeah.
I didn't create a single other, like I didn't film anything worth even a 30-second or 60-second short video after that. Like anything that I did film, any photos, it's just, it was gone.
Yeah.
And 26, I mean, good photos or videos. We didn't get, fuck.
I know. I was
photos. Photos. We have one of the best cameras in the world in our pockets.
I know. When I saw that goal, I was like, oh no. And like how you said photos, I was just like, I can't believe that I said that was one of my goals, and I didn't even think about it.
It was one of our. It was one of the Real AF TV goals as a whole, right?
Do you know how? Yeah, but it's like for me, I'm out there fishing, I'm taking pictures. I was super active on Instagram the first time, like when we launched this. I was really taking the pictures, and I was really
for sure.
And I felt like I was getting a little bit repetitive. And then like the camera got stolen. I talked about that last year. And that's kind of why I was even talking like, oh, now I'm ready to get back into it. I'm ready to do more stuff. And then this year I kept having these goals. Dude, I don't know. It's like that step thing again. I had that old tackle box with the old lures that I got from the Fleet Mart or the
Oh yeah. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. So I was going to take pictures of those. I can't tell you how many times those got put in the trunk. To drive someplace because I was like, I'll have a good photo opportunity here.
Oh, sick! Then, you're gonna do like an outdoor setting, like
I'll just
I'll set them down on something cool.
Yeah, just some old old driftwood or whatever. Just find something. Just have a cool like setting where I could take some photos, or like you get a creek and you can take a picture with some like water in the background, where you got on some rocks or whatever. I had all these ideas. And every time I brought them someplace with me, it was just like those steps again, where it was like something else was happening and it just never got around to it. And it's also like, again, not making excuses, but having a little one and a family and being with other people.
Super distracting.
Not only distracting, it's super hard to... At least for me, maybe it's easy for some other people, but it's very hard for me to be like, hey guys, can you just find some way to entertain yourself for a while? Right. Dad's going to take these lures and go into the woods.
Yeah. I need 30 minutes in the woods with these fishing lures. No matter what you hear, do not come in those woods.
Do not come out in the woods. I'm going to drive out to a spot that's going to take me a second to get there. And then I'm going to walk out. And I'm going to take some photos in the woods. And then they're like, can we come with? And I'm like, sure. And then it's like complete distraction. Even there, like I remember that we went to a park once and I'm like, I'm going to take some photos. And we got out there. When we were out there, there was like all these smooth stones and it was like time to skip shit. And I don't even know if I ever grabbed any of the fucking, it was like, I definitely didn't get many pictures in. So I don't know.
Right.
I feel like I did take some pictures, but I don't. It was like when I saw that goal, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
I got to go back in my camera roll and see if I'm pretty sure I took some photos. I got to see if I can find those.
Yeah.
So,
and I should have done that. I should have too. Like I should have just gotten the same thing. I should have remembered like, hey, I got some good looking, because I've taken back again when we started in 2019, 2020. Like I had some good old school lure photos that I took, and it's just like, oh, I should have done that again. Like I should have went and got other ones, and I should have got, because I got more that I didn't, that we didn't post, that I didn't shoot, that I didn't Photoshop. Not Photoshop, but like in the sense of like I didn't make them look fucking big titties and fat ass. I made them
right.
I made them look. I just zhuzh up the color a little bit. In Photoshop, I just mess with the contrast and the saturation a little bit because I shoot in RAW. So anyways, it hurt me to look at that one too and think the same thing. And just go, man, why don't I think about lures? Because lures are fucking dope. And I didn't.
And I love, dude, that's what drove me nuts, because I love lures, and I'm like, I just like the way lures look. I like, there's a couple pages that I follow, and that's all they do. Their Instagram is literally like setting up different rigs, taking photos of them,
Oh,
and
sick.
then like posting the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. So there's some cool stuff out there, but yeah, it's like, man, I should definitely. And I don't see a lot of like strictly old lure stuff.
Oh, nice.
So maybe people would be interested in that.
Oh,
I
I
like
know I
finding that
am for
stuff.
sure. Being a history
I like
guy and
old,
like
yeah.
I
I
love
like old lure.
vintage, like I don't know, antique shops are fucking dope and like I love that
Hell yeah.
stuff. I think it's super sick. It's just trying to make
Yeah.
little fishing eye candy, whether
Yep.
it doesn't have to just be us casting. I like the idea of making like fishing eye candy for I don't know how else to
Yeah.
put it.
I think some of the old lures too are so like visually appealing versus some of the stuff that we have today. Like the stuff that we
Mhm.
have today is so good for fishing itself because it mimics a real bait or it will
Mm.
be the right color. And some of the
Mhm.
old stuff is so just like, what the fuck is that thing? It's just like all these different random
Sure,
things
sure.
coming off the lure and the way the hooks are on and everything. It's just like
Mm. Mhm.
some of them are a lot. There's just a lot going on. And you're like, that doesn't really look like anything.
Mhm.
All the lures today look like something. And the
Mhm.
lures,
Right.
some of the lures back in the day, you're like, I don't even know what this is supposed to mimic. It's
Yeah.
just, it's made to make a splash. That's all that one does.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for
okay.
sure. But I like
Yeah.
what you're saying too because like I probably could have got some ghillie shots because I did get the ghillie out on the water a couple
Oh,
times. But
sure.
again,
Yeah.
nothing. I didn't film anything that could have been a short. I didn't
Yeah.
like the ghillie hit the water, didn't
Right.
catch anything. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
So the footage, I can't even remember if I shot it. It doesn't matter because
Sure.
nothing happened. There's no
Yeah.
story there. I mean, like literally
Right.
no story behind it.
Dude, and that's what I
And you
had
can't shoot a
going
photo
on.
of it. It's just a fucking
I
little
know.
fish.
I know. Well, if
I mean,
the only thing I was gonna say, I'm not trying to naysay you. I was gonna
no, no.
say I do have a couple of photos if you're interested, if you want to go see them, because I did have a couple of gillies, um, that were the color of the saltwater fish
Oh
from
yeah,
down in
yeah,
Florida.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
yeah.
go to the Instagram page now, you will see like some of the Florida trip. There's two different posts. One of them's about the fish that I caught, and one of them is about the trip to the Bass Pro Shops. And they
Yeah.
had gillies down there that were colored like the saltwater fish, and that was kind of crazy to see. To be like, oh, look at that!
Yeah.
This is the imitating the bait fish here. So that was
Right.
crazy. But like that's where it really kind of
But
made
that's the
sense at
difference
that
between
point.
experience and like me thinking of like, what am I gonna do? Shoot this ghillie with a blurred background? Like, why? Why?
Right?
Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
take this ghillie out into the woods and get a nice shot of it through the trees with the water in the background. Like, no, it's for a ghillie that doesn't really work for a tradition like for a common mass produced
Yeah.
right now lure that doesn't work, but change that out for a 67 Rapala redhead or something like that. And you're like,
Right.
sick,
Yeah.
dude.
Exactly. Some of those are cool. I do want to get some photos of the gilly like catch the sunfish, like the species that it is.
Yeah,
And like the
dude.
match the hatch photos, like have a photo like because they're so realistic looking
I love
to
that.
have a photo with the actual fish. So it's like I just gotta have a gilly on hand and go catch some panfish.
Yeah.
When I catch them, just be like, look at that, dude.
Yeah. That's a sick
Yeah.
idea. See, it's the experience though that you're bringing, and that's the same thing with you taking the photos of the gillies down in Florida. It's the
Yeah.
experience, right? It's that is conveying an experience in comparison to what I was talking about, where making the eye candy sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine
for sure.
has more of like a story behind it. But yeah, just to take a photo is like um I don't know what you could do besides like propping it up around some weeds and stuff and then taking a
Mhm.
photo where it kind of looks like it's in water but it's not in water, but you'd have to like prop the fish up. It's like
Mhm.
a big like a gilly. You'd almost have to like create a world and be creative,
Yeah,
like
for
just
sure.
taking
Now
a
that's
picture of a
cool.
soft plastic itself. I have taken pictures of soft plastics like in the packaging already, like on driftwood next to rivers and stuff.
Mhm.
So some of that kind of cool. So
Mhm.
maybe something like that. But yeah, it's all ideas and trying to
Right.
figure things out and what you're going to be able to do. Yeah, I again right now thinking about it, it all seems so simple,
so
to just
doable.
be like,
I know.
so doable.
Let's
and I
keep
know
our
it
positive
is.
energy on that,
Yes.
though. It seems so doable. Let's actually revisit that one when we start talking 2024, because that's a real AFTV goal. Like, that's a team, that's a me and you effort, right? Because if you take one and you're like, hey, I think you can Photoshop this one a little bit and tune it up, and then it's ready for the gram. Because we do like to put a little production behind our stuff, behind the content that we make. Aside from the experience stuff where we're just like, okay, let's post this. This is fucking cool. Where it's like,
Right.
your son's first bass that he catches or something like that. Or
Yep.
holy shit, look at these gillies, because this isn't what we see. Like, here's a gilly from the north. Well, here's one when you're on the coast, right?
Yep.
Like, that's different. But again, I think we think about production value a little bit before we just go ahead and post like a fucking selfie with a 7-inch Rapala from the local bait store. It's like, why?
Right. Yeah.
So let's keep on Real AF TV a little bit. Okay, so we got Tim's home studio, more than podcasting. Total nosedive on that one. You hit some home improvement issues there that really kind of put a damper on that. And also, I have parts that you need to turn it into something more. If that's still an option, I don't want to give away too much, but you know what I'm talking about. I still have parts for that, and we haven't seen each other. Well, I haven't brought those with since anytime we've seen each other.
True. Yeah. Yeah. But there's plans in the work. There's stuff. This room that I'm in now, might be a lot further down the road to get it finished than we initially thought, because we kind of went from like, we need to have gutters to stop the water and all this stuff, to, I think we need new siding, and maybe the whole house needs to get done before we fuck with gutters. So now
shit.
we're like,
sure.
Now it might be the whole thing. But the rest of the rooms, now that like Christmas is winding down and all the holidays and stuff, as long as we're in the area and they got some weekends to do some stuff, I think might be able to get stuff done, because I have the carpet cut for all the rooms. It's like the size that it needs to be. It's all ready to roll. I just need to have the time to prep everything and actually get in there.
Yeah, like a weekend.
Do it.
Layer down.
Yeah. And once that's done, then I can set stuff up,
Then you can start thinking bigger. Yeah.
Then I can start moving things around. The bathroom down here is just full of all the furniture that was in all the other rooms.
Oh, shit.
So it looks crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. But yeah, that was a flop on that one. But yeah, it ended up not being one of those where it was like, shit, I didn't read the thing. It was like front of mind the whole time.
Oh yeah. It felt like every time we came on the podcast before, in the like pre-podcast shit, we'd always be talking a little something here and there.
Yeah. And every time we go a little bit further, it's like, shit, well, if we do this, it's like, are we just wasting time and money? Because we're going to have to take it down and do all this other stuff. And eventually, like, we started like tossing around the idea of like, what it's like to talk to a bank and all this other shit. So don't need to bore anybody with that. But it's like every step along the way, it's like, well, how do we accomplish this next goal we just figured out? Like, well, we got to do this. Yeah. And then when you get to that point, you're just like, well, if we're going to do that, we might as well do all this other shit.
Yeah, I know. They really pile on top of each other. And that's actually kind of what we were talking about, even with the like, the goals of like doing something, all of a sudden it becomes bigger than you expected, and then you forget about it, or you feel like you can't act on it, or you now know this is a 2 years away goal or something like that. If anybody out there is a professional goal setter, hit us up in the comments or something. Like if you're listening to us and just going, oh, you guys, you got to do this. You got to do, set smaller goals or something. It's like, I don't know, whatever it is. If you're some sort of psychologist or you understand this stuff better than we do, in some way, like if you because I know there's so many times I'm listening to a podcast and I'm like, oh, well, that's because he didn't, turn it on and turn it off again because I'm an IT professional. I understand. But seriously, if you get it, you get it. Hit us up in the comments. Hit us up in the DMs on social. At Real AF TV.
Sure.
On just look up Real AF TV, Real like Fish and Real. You'll find us. We come up. We're listening.
I like to preface too, like if you do see that and you're thinking, you'd like to help, and that's what you want to do is be helpful, dope. Or you're like, I can give you this knowledge if you guys want to help us out with help us fish, or whoever.
Tit for tat situation.
Cool. We could work like that
in exchange.
But we're looking for like a fucking life coach. Not just be like for the low fee of like 15 grand every 3 months.
Fuck that. No, I was talking about like just being neighborly, basically.
Exactly.
Neighborly on the internet.
That's a good way of putting it. If you want to be neighborly on the internet, we're neighborly. Let's talk.
Yeah,
let's chat.
We can
barter, stuff like that.
Yeah,
whatever you want to do.
Right.
But don't be like, I know the answers. I can get your shit together. All you gotta do is pay my fee. Like, no, we're not looking for that shit.
Fuck that. I'll delete your comment.
Hey, right. Yeah. One of those people that's just like, if you got that, I can help you out, and I can help everyone else out too. Go to my website.
Right. That's called an ad, and fuck you.
Yeah, you ass clown. You imaginary person we just made
up.
We
just made up and had a fight with.
Yeah, you go suck a dick, you fart farming piece of shit.
So I started in the document, I started putting minuses and pluses next to things, and I got to the Real AF TV goal of launch into short form videos. Man, fuck that. We did that. That's a plus. We kept it that simple. I'm going to say, yeah, we did it. Now, did I make as many as I think we could have? Or did we create as many as I think? No, we could have. No,
right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We got one out there and it was fine. And that 100%. Was good. We know how to do it. We know that we can do it.
Right. And that's like a lot on me too, because I'm not giving you a lot to work with. I don't have a lot of. I know another one of the goals was to like record more, get more in the tank.
Yeah.
I did not.
For you had
right.
Yep. Put more fishing footage in the can. It wasn't even.
Yeah.
Wasn't even anything specific.
Right. And dude, I got out there and I filmed a couple of times, but when I did film, it didn't turn out to be good, or it ended up being like just stupid shit.
Something that you just didn't feel great about, or
me and Braxton went fishing, my nephew, and there'd be times where we like casting and stuff, and I'm trying to like, just fish a way that I can put him on fish and try to help him out and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're not really like dissecting the lake. We're not necessarily doing what I think would be best that way. We're doing what he can do.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm trying to put him in the right locations and stuff and catch fish. And we were catching fish, but they were little bass, and like there was a lot of like hanging up on docks and stuff. And I suppose with like some editing, we could have done some stuff. But a lot of times too, I was like almost more focused on getting him situated and stuff, and the footage just wasn't necessarily there. And
because the camera almost became the third focus of almost, or fourth, even maybe.
So let me ask this too, because we didn't really chat about this before we started.
Yeah.
Are we talking about like how we dropped the ball last year, and then we're going to talk about our new 2024 goals in the second half?
Yeah. I mean, if it ties in here too, good, but that's the general idea here is let's take this time to review ourselves, review last year, kind of like get our thoughts together about last year, and then go into 2024 in the second half.
So we'll talk about 2024, and we'll talk about what I got plans on changing and how I can make things different, because I was going to touch on that stuff, but we'll wait on that stuff. But I'll just say that like one thing people don't think about, I think I said it last year too, is that it's a little bit socially awkward to
Oh
wear
yeah,
the cameras.
right.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's okay with other people, but unless I'm fishing in a boat by myself, it feels a little weird to turn on the camera and I feel like I'm alienating the people around me.
Right.
I I feel like they didn't sign up for this, and now I'm trying to like record with them in the
Yeah.
boat.
And almost you feel
Um,
like you just by turning on the camera, you became a solo mission in a social situation, right? Like you
right.
said, you alienated yourself from the group by turning on the
Yeah.
camera. You feel like because
Yeah.
they didn't necessarily come out on this beautiful July afternoon um, to be put in a camera, to be
But
put on
yeah,
camera, to be
right.
yeah, and a lot of people aren't comfortable with it. And so
Right.
you turn on the camera and they freeze up. They get awkward. We've talked about that before. Like
Yeah.
we've been around cameras for so fucking long, it doesn't matter to us. You turn on a camera and we just keep going.
Right.
Right. Exactly. You can just keep your hands down. It's fine. But so I put a slash. I put like a half. I put a slash in that. So what I'm doing is I'm going a plus, a minus, and a slash. A slash is like, well, we tried. You tried. I mean, you tried to. You turned on the cameras, right?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't say anything got in the can, as
Right.
in anything like that's a wrap, right? Like
Right. Technically,
if
footage exists, but none of it I was happy with. None of
yeah,
it I really
none
saw
of it's
as
in the share
anything I could.
drive between me and you, and that's what we should
Correct.
be
Yes.
defining as the can,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Because it
Now, early
exists, but it was
pre-spawn.
stuff
Oh
where
fuck, we already talked about that one. I remember that. We're just gonna fucking negative that one right now.
yeah, because that one,
Pre-spawn
the
was all fucked
pre-spawn,
up this year
because the weather was just weird
because of the
as
weird.
shit,
Yeah.
which I think kind of brings us to the next one, correct? Where we're
Um.
talking about the ice fishing. Get more.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Because I had ice fishing on there again in 2023 for my goals. Yep.
Hell yeah. So I had it as mine as well, and it was like get more confident in ice fishing.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I tell you what, I don't feel real comfortable. I'm a big dude, so I don't feel comfortable with like thinner ice.
Mm-hmm.
And it started getting a little bit more thick. And the Friday before Christmas, there was still some lakes where I saw like super thin ice. People were walking out with like no gear on them whatsoever.
This
They were
year,
going
like
out
you're talking
this
just a
year.
couple weeks ago.
Couple weeks ago, this
Mhm.
year on a Friday, some of these lakes,
Mm-hmm.
like there were lakes that I saw open, and then there were some lakes that I saw people walking on. I'm like, well, that one must not be shielded from the wind. There's a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
ice on there or something because I see
Mm-hmm.
these guys walking out there, and they got holes in the ice, and they're
Mm-hmm.
actually out there. So I was like, well, that must have a little bit of ice on there. When we came back from the winter break, little short winter break on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
that lake that those guys were fishing on was completely open.
Yep.
There was no ice left
Yep.
whatsoever.
I
The
know.
ice must have been almost non-existent because it took 4 days from them to go ice fishing to them there not being
To it
any
being
ice
you
on
could
that
put a
lake
boat on
anymore.
that motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If people are listening and they're not from Minnesota, they don't know. I've never seen this. I have never seen
Yep.
this in my life. There's never been a time where it's got to Christmas and the lakes have been open.
Yep.
We are about to hit New Year's and the lakes are open. Up on the lake that I normally fish, they
Mhm.
are offering discounts to people like for live bait that show up with a boat. They're offering discounted bait because
Wow.
the lakes are open
Because the lakes are open.
and they are not selling bait. So they're like, come up here, we'll give you half off your bait and you can go fish the lake. We
Yeah.
just, need to
Because it's
know that
open.
you're,
Because nobody's buying
yeah,
bait because there's no hard water. So they're
right,
trying to get people with their boats, which have already been winterized,
right.
unless you have your own garage.
But
And
I see
yeah,
it,
it's
dude. I
tough.
saw boats today. I saw people towing
Yeah.
boats today.
Yeah. Open boats,
It's
not
nuts.
covered, not sealed up.
Right. Nope. They're going fishing.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
honestly thought about it this week where I was just like, what does it take for me to get my tiny boat ready to go out on Saturday because I could?
All right. Okay.
And,
For sure.
and it's just too much. The answer is way too much shit.
Sure.
I'm not ready to jump back into that season. You know, like when spring's coming, you got like weeks to kind of just be like, all right, this has to get done. This has to get done. Then you're ready.
Right. This
But
is
that
like you
boat
have
is like,
a couple hours tomorrow morning.
yeah, that boat is like completely disassembled. It's flipped upside down for the winter. So the water, you know, doesn't
Oh,
pool in the
right. Yeah.
inside and stuff. And it's just like,
Effectively, you've
there's so
winterized it.
much. Yeah. I would literally have to tell my wife to be like, you figure out something to do with the kid, and I'm going to work on the boat the first half of the day, and the second half of the day I'm going to take the boat out fishing,
Right.
and you won't see me during the daylight hours. And
Yep.
I just I
Right.
feel like a dick trying to do that stuff. But and then we got a Christmas this weekend too, so it's like it would only be for that one day. If I had the whole weekend, the whole 3-day weekend, I would have done it for sure.
It'd have been
But
different. Yeah, for sure. But one's taken up by family
and
time, like
they're
already.
they're also forecasting possible snow in the evening tomorrow night here anyway. So it's like we are still in winter, but it's just crazy that the
water is like open.
The water is open.
Yeah.
I was thinking I should see if I can find a spot to go and like cast off the shore.
Yeah, I've actually thought about that too. I was like, I should go to the lake that's around me here and see if it's open or not, or like how open it is, because it's open. I don't know where.
To be able to say that it's fucking, it'll be December 30th and you caught a fish on open water in Minnesota is just gnarly.
It's crazy. It's fucking
normally
weird.
The lakes are a lot of years the lakes are frozen over like end of November.
Mm-hmm.
And then like by Christmas time, people are making plans for their winter break to go sit out in their permanent because it's thick enough that they're pulling dual axle giant trailers with their full, 3,000-4,000 pound truck.
Right.
Yep. And this year, open water.
Open water. Yep. One of my favorite Christmas movies, and I say Christmas movies in quotes, is Grumpy Old Men. And it starts before Thanksgiving, and they're like it's purposely set around like a heavy winter, right? Like that's their whole point. But they're brushing off their cars and getting ready to go out ice fishing, and it's Thanksgiving.
Right.
Which is like, that's possible.
Yeah.
Yep. It used to be. I don't know what the fuck, I feel like back in the 90s, you were like, that was a thing.
I think just 2 years ago, it was. Last year was warm and it snowed a shit ton.
Yep.
And then I want to say like they were showing different things about like years that we've had no snow on Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I think it was like 2018, 2019 was one where we didn't have any snow. And it was like, we didn't have any snow that year, but it was cold as shit.
It was cold. It was cold. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody looked at it and was like, it's not winter yet. Just because there's no snow. Everybody was like, it's winter.
Right.
Everything's frozen. It's crazy cold.
Everything's frozen. Yep.
Yeah.
So jump back to your goal quick here before we drag this, topic on for super long time. Yours was build confidence in ice fishing. And when we did our check-in, you were pretty confident. I gave it a half because you couldn't get out ice fishing. And I know we were giving it like this late opportunity here in November, December as a possibility to get out on the water. But you said, our check-in, if I'm remembering correctly, you said you did build your confidence in ice fishing quite a bit, even though you didn't get to execute. So it's one of those like situations.
Yeah. And I did want to be able to execute and have stuff to report back. And like that could have been a whole new topic on the podcast and everything. But like this year for me, just not possible because I'm not going out until I know that it's frozen. I know that they're like 2 inches for people and like 4 inches for ATV or whatever. And like, I'm more comfortable when you're saying I can be on an ATV.
Right.
Like I agree. ATV.
I'm still that way too. Yep. Okay. So catch a dogfish on your home turf. I'm just going to put a minus next to that.
Yep. Yeah. Just keep going. We don't even need to talk about it.
Yeah. We'll just move on. I'm going to put a half seas on catch a fish on the Kyogre Luger. God, there it was.
Yeah. Again. I attempted it
because I remember you talking about it on our check-in. You're like, Oh, that
Yeah.
thing hit the water. It was
Yeah.
sick, and you
That was
just
the other thing. Yeah. I
didn't
really
do it
liked the way
enough
it
to actually get a bite.
Yeah, I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it swam. I was casting it out a lot. That was like another thing, like I was out there and I was
Sure.
filming.
Yeah.
My footage was like 4 hours of me just casting it and reeling it in and not getting hit. And I think it was just like the time of day, the area I was fishing. I think it was just like not necessarily the top water wasn't the ticket. And I was like forcing
Sure.
it. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck you, I'm going to use this top water and we're going to hope something hits it. And like the whole day, I'm just like, nothing's going to hit it. And I'm like, shut up, dude. If you keep casting it, maybe something will, maybe you'll surprise yourself. Maybe it'll be one of those tales where I told myself nothing would bite this today. And then I completely proved myself wrong. And it goes to show that you can never be certain on any type of fishing lures and blah, 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 blah. Turns out I was right.
It turns out. Yep.
So,
and that's just how it goes sometimes, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll jump into mine now, which is just a series of minuses on the docket, just a series of fails, a series of shortcomings. I'm gonna blow through them and then come back. So, walleye fishing for eaters with new gear, total miss. Pikes,
you can still do it.
Pickled pike. I know.
You got open water.
I know, and that's actually I know. So that goes back to the story before. I'll come back to it quick. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go in order. Okay. So walleye fishing for eaters with new gear. Now,
Yeah.
This is seriously what I was thinking is, there's a big lake around my area, and I was thinking of, there's a couple big lakes around my area down here in the southwest metro. Yep. And I was like, okay, there's definitely going to be some bays open because they're going to be the windy side, and then there's going to be this and that. And I'm thinking about a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, if the water's open, if I go down there this weekend and the water's open, do I put on a diver? Do I just fucking go down? Like, what do I do? Could I fish? Because remember, I got those, what are those fucking, shit. They're soft plastic, and they got that paddle tail on them, right? And I think you said those are for walleyes.
Yeah. Yeah, like a paddle tail swim bait. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I can't remember what brand you have or what, but yeah, where it's got a paddle tail, just a paddle tail.
Yeah, it's like a bigger paddle tail. I mean, bigger. I say bigger, but we're talking.
Yeah, some people call them grubs, some people call them swim baits. When you put, depending on the jig head that you use and stuff, like a lot of people just call them different stuff, but it's just a paddle tail, swim bait. So yeah, you could totally cast one of those out and reel it in or jig it. One thing nice right now that you should be able to jig pretty much anywhere and not really have to worry about the weeds too much. The weeds should be dead. Yeah, the weeds should be dead. So like they shouldn't hold on very good, even if it falls into the weeds when you're ripping them out. Like, I wouldn't think that they'd be on, really holding. You might be surprised, like if there's no current in the area and it's not moving anything, like if the dead stuff fell down and it's just kind of sitting there, it might be just waiting to get picked up. Like later in the year, sometimes the weeds can get annoying because they rip out easier and stuff.
Okay.
And, I think I speak for 90% of the people in Minnesota when we say that we've never casted a line this late in the year, like in the open water. So I don't know exactly what would be happening.
Yeah.
So that's the thing too, that I was thinking, like when you're saying, I was thinking about it too the other day, and it's like, what are the fish doing? And it's like, well, when the ice freezes over, the lake freezes over, there's current. If the lake has current, if it's like some sort of a system where it has a river or there's a, like there's a stream that comes into it, like there's a slight bit of current in some of those like areas and stuff. But if it doesn't have some of that stuff, there's no current. It's all still. There's no wind. Like the wind will move the zooplankton. The plankton is what the bait fish eat. The
Mm-hmm.
bait fish is what the big fish eat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Mm-hmm.
this chain of events where they all move and stuff. And what that plankton, I don't know what it does in winter. That's one thing that I need to learn too, is like,
Because of
I
the
know that
lack of
when they,
sun, and like there's
yeah,
going to be a natural, because they eat the plants, and the plants are going to be less
yeah,
prevalent no
yeah,
matter what because of the sun change.
yeah. Well, the fish too start eating like, there's a lot of like bloodworms and weird shit like that they
Mm.
eat on. Like that's why some of the bait
Mm-hmm.
for ice fishing is different than what you see in the summer,
Right, right.
because there's some shit that's just kind of like in the water where everything slows down. The fish must like just kind of like look in certain areas for stuff, or maybe
Mm.
those bloodworms move around way more when the current exists and the wind is moving and all the
Mm-hmm.
other stuff is there. Maybe when it slows down and everything's cold, like you just get, more time to really like think about it being in the woods, and on a windy day you're not really like paying attention to the stuff around you when you're walking. But on a super calm day,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you just know your surroundings more. And it's like, I don't know if that's what it's like for them, where there's just like,
Yeah, it's a good thought
you,
though.
you don't use this shit during the summer, because in the summer months it's more hectic and you're just hitting the stuff that you can see easier.
Mm-hmm.
And in the winter, you're lethargic. So you're just kind of like, what's up today? Oh, what's
Right,
that
right.
red thing? Oh, that looks like it could be food. I'm gonna try it today. Like
Yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
I don't know. It's weird shit like that. But that's what I was thinking, along the lines of like, so you would think that it's gonna be just like when the water is open any other time, and that the wind can set up the fish and that they're gonna be moving and stuff. And
Right.
but I was like, is it like early
Hmm.
spring? Are
Right. Because that's
fish
what it
up?
feels like to us, but we have to remember that the
Yeah,
sun's not the same, that the wind isn't exactly the same either, because it does get cold enough at night where a little bit of ice forms, or ice does form, but then it
yeah,
opens up when when the wind actually starts to blow
yeah.
in the sun. So it's really hard. Yeah, I mean, I get where you're going. That's what I'm trying to say is like,
Cause
I
well,
understand,
cause
and
it,
I'm just bringing
yeah,
more variables to the table that it's like, fuck, dude.
yeah. Cause the weird part is like, at first I was thinking, well, it's got to be like late fall is what it's got to be like. But
Sure.
the some of these lakes technically already froze, and then it warmed back up and the
Mm.
ice thawed out.
Mhm.
So it's like, well,
Mhm.
then we're like more like spring, like stuff is warming up.
Yeah.
Are the fish set up on spring, or are the fish like, nah, it's gonna get cold again? Like I
Yeah, that's
don't
a good
know.
question. Let me
I
ask you
would,
this. You know what I have? I have that like 7-inch purple swimmer. I have
yeah,
those like I think they're 5-inch paddle tails. And then I mean that's it for my walleye gear, really. I actually have some worms too.
yeah.
But are those walleyes? I don't know. Um, what do you think you'd drop if you were able to get out this week? Like if you said you're taking out the boat,
Well,
like out of those three things, like I got a plastic worm, I got like a 6-inch paddle, and I got like a 7-inch deep dive Rapala triple. I think it's got 3 hooks on it. Like it's got 3 triples. I'm
yeah.
not saying I have time to throw all of them, and that's why I'm kind of coming. That's why I'm not saying I'm going to go out at all, but I'm just thinking, hey, if I get an opportunity, do you have any advice on which one you'd be throwing out there for a couple tries?
W- uh, that's tough.
Yeah, no, it's
I
fine.
don't.
It's fine.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just like, I'm thinking here, because like a deep diving Rapala or whatever,
Mhm.
probably not what you should be going with, because late fall, early spring, when the water's open, they should be shallower. You
Mm.
shouldn't be out in deep water. I would think that they're shallow. Like some of the
Mhm.
crappies
Mhm.
would be out deeper, but if you're in the shallow, like if you're casting from shore and stuff, they should be shallow. I don't think that they be
Mm.
out deep.
Yeah, so you're like saying, "Hey, walleyes, man, maybe like
Maybe,
if you're throwing from shore, walleyes
yeah,
might be there."
Yeah. So I would
Okay.
say out of what you have, that paddle tail might be a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
And the the size, if it's like 6 inches, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah, it is.
But like you might have a pike. Pike will come up in the
Hey,
shallows and stuff too. People set up tip ups in the shallow waters because the pike will just kind of be roaming around up
Roman.
there too.
Yeah.
So like
Hey,
if you're casting on a paddle tail,
that's the second thing though. Like pickled pike bites, man. That's not going anywhere. I'm telling you that right now.
right?
That ain't going
Yeah,
anywhere, man. I'm
yeah,
making that episode. I'm gonna do that. So if I go out with that thing, I might be killing two birds with one stone. Because
right.
if I'm fishing for walleye with that thing, I'll check that box because that's what I
Without
want. But if I
that,
get a pike, I'm fucking
yeah,
like I'm
that
checking another box, you know?
right for sure. That would be sick.
So that's
That
actually
water,
that's a good point.
that water has got to be like right on the cusp of freezing back over again because it
Oh
is
yeah, I
cold.
think so.
So the only thing that I was thinking too is it makes it a little bit tough because none of what you are saying for your three options, I would say is technically ideal. But I would say
Right.
that the paddle tail is probably your best option.
Like
And the
just
only
doing
reason
it
I
to
don't
fulfill a
say
goal almost. Like
right.
doing it to
Well, the only
fulfill a goal and prove a point, right? Like
yeah,
that's almost what it comes down to is like
yeah.
prove a point
Well,
that it does or doesn't work and whatever.
yeah. And I just wanted to say that the only reason I would say that it's not ideal is just because of in the cold water, like a little bit faster vibration is a lot of times or like a tighter
Mm.
wobble.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those paddle tails, depending on the one that you're using, can really be a like really flopping like this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like kind of a slow won't, won't, won't back and forth and stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't think that it wouldn't work. I think that it's just not ideal.
Right.
And that's the same with your Rapala. Your Rapalas would catch. I just think that
I
deep diving would not be the like if you have a jerk bait, or you're trying to use your new stuff though, right?
Yeah, that was the goal, but now I'm starting to think I do have these smaller ones that I haven't opened yet, and I didn't think about them as walleye, but
If you had a
they
jerk bait,
okay. I'm gonna write that down.
because of how cold everything is and how slow it's moving, you can just pop that thing and then just let it suspend. If it's a suspending one or even a floating one or whatever. But you just reel it a little bit and
Yeah.
like pop it a little bit and then just let it pause.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll come and hit it on that pause.
Right.
That can catch walleye and bass and northern. Like
Okay. No,
I've
because
caught
I forgot
everything on
about
a
those.
jerk
So I
bait.
think I have what you're saying. It's just been so long since I opened them up, and with the move and everything,
Yeah,
I'm having flashbacks of all my stuff getting moved and like opening it up and making sure that everything was still there and it didn't get moved around or whatever. And I can't remember what exactly is in there. I just remember them. They're clownfish painted, and I mean clownfish like white with those fucking multicolor spots on them,
yeah.
and then they have like a blue or red head on them or some
Yeah.
shit like that. But
Oh
I
yeah.
forget if they're jerk baits or if they're um um what the fuck else? What's a similar to a jerk bait? I'm drawing a blank
A
right now.
crank. Well, a crankbait.
Cranks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. So okay, but that helped. But I'm glad you said something because I totally forgot about those little fuckers. And so that's great. Then I got catfish fry with a short video. Man, that one was ambitious. Me and my buddy who were talking about doing that were way hot on it going into the fall. And that just fell apart.
Yeah.
Catch a predator with a Berkeley gilly on a local pond. I gave that a slash. I look the gilly hit the water, but nothing came of it. And then ice fish again, total negative. We already talked about that. That was fuckery. Oh, and then you know what? I'm putting a slash on Spotify video because like I said in our review, I know how, and I still know how. And we're going to get to the visual here in just a second. I'm going to wrap it up. We'll wrap up with that. But I just want to say on the Real AFTV goals here, we have Spotify video. I know how. We'll see. Nah, that ain't happening right now. I know how. I'm very certain that we could get Spotify video. You hit us up, please. People listening, if you're listening on Spotify and you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, it'd be sweet if because you guys are making visual gags and shit, and you're always saying go over to YouTube, but I'm on Spotify. I'd rather see it there right away. And yeah, if we get that feedback, we'll do it. We'll make it happen for sure. I'm not opposed to doing it. Just where Real AF TV's at right now, it's not in the cards because it requires extra production time and investments and actually here's what it is. We're completely independent. Yes, YouTube hosts our videos entirely, but I could pull them from YouTube and I could host them on our website. We own our server, we own our website. We feed to the other podcasts. We feed to all our podcast servers from our server. This is really behind the scenes shit, but I just, what I'm saying is like, we're indie to the core. We don't depend on any of these podcast services. You could find us right on our website if you wanted. Google doesn't even download. They just stream from our website. Like Spotify, I know they download it because when I upload a bunk file, like a file that has a corruption in it that I didn't know ahead of time, I change it and it takes time for Spotify to figure it out. So Spotify is actually downloading it, putting it on their servers and hosting it. They own a hosting platform and they want people to be on that hosting platform. And that's what it takes to get Spotify video up. And so it's a little bit of this, of a duality problem, right? Where we want to stay independent and hang on to all our shit and be in control of our own media. But we know there's a giant podcast service out there that needs us to operate through them. And having one video feed right now is enough. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because YouTube, for us, Spotify would be just Spotify podcast video version. YouTube for us is more than just the video podcast. So it has a higher value in my book.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I was going to say that too. It's like we're ambitious and we have plans to do everything. And it, like the way you're explaining it there, it feels like almost if we're trying to do the Spotify video, that we're like pushing all the chips in on just the podcast. Like the amount of work it would have to do would be like, fuck everything else. We can only do the podcast if this is the route we're taking.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well put, dude. That's definitely it.
Yeah.
So let's close out with what you pulled up there for visual. Speaking of video,
that visual. Yeah, exactly. The visual is like, I have some fish and stuff laying around, and I was just going to say like a jerk bait like this, where it has like a smaller bill on it. Make sure that you're looking at something like that where it's not going to dive too deep.
Okay. I'm going to memorize that. Like I'm taking a visual photo or like a mental photo of that right now because I can't remember how big the bills are on my little guys.
Yeah, this one's pretty small, but I mean, like, just think about it almost like where it's coming out of too. A lot of these where it's like a small bill and it's coming like out of almost like it's coming out the chin.
Yeah,
is normally like a deep dive or like a shallower diver. If it wants to dive deep, a lot of times they'll have the bill comes from like the nose itself.
Oh, almost like with the curve of the top of the fish, sort of.
Yeah, and see the line tie. The line tie will like be on the bill itself, not on the nose of the bait.
The bill itself means it's going to dive deeper, typically.
Right.
The line tie on the bill means it's probably going to dive deeper. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like a bigger. If the line tie's on the bill's normally bigger, and it's like trying to like catch more water. When it catches more water, it forces it down.
Right.
For most of the time, you know.
Yeah. I know you're
exceptions, but yeah,
there's always exceptions. I know the generalities being on the internet. You always have to be like, well, there's always exceptions because otherwise you're going to get the dumbass comment and like, oh, I never fucking, whatever. Shut the fuck up.
This is the Kevin Van Dam. I forget exactly what the name of it is, but it's the jerk bait. But this one too has a nice hefty rattle.
Oh yeah.
So this one, I think too, this time of year when things are just kind of lethargic and stuff, like when you're ice fishing, a lot of rattling spoons and stuff are kind of like you shaking. That rattle kind of gets their attention. And even though they're lethargic and moving slow and stuff, they'll kind of swim in. And I was really thinking if you had one of these, like if you just kind of like, you rip it, like, wow, and then let it sit. You know, those two rattles will kind of like call it in, and then it just sits there. And the fish is like, what's going on? And then maybe you get its attention, and then
it's like ground hunting.
Again.
You call it in and you wait and you pause instead of, it's like ground hunting is you call it in and then you wait for the animal to pause during the silence, right? In this case, it's you call it in and you let the call pause, and that's enough to make that fish.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll come up and like just grab it as it's sitting there. But a lot of times they'll swim up and they'll just kind of stare at it. And then that next twitch that you make, smash. Yeah.
Sick.
So, and jerkbait fishing can be a lot of fun. I just feel like jerkbait fishing is like the most versatile thing if you're trying to get on like one lure.
Yeah.
Because you could burn it. You can just reel and keep like always be popping it, but you can just like be reeling it and just constantly pop it.
Just pop, like pop, reel, pop. Yeah, like you got the motion where you're reeling and you're popping at the same time kind of situation.
Yeah, but the opposite way. You're like, I know you're for visuals on the podcast, but like pointing your rod down, you know, popping it like almost like
okay, down,
ripping it at the water,
the side.
Pop. Yep.
Okay.
So you're reeling it and you kind of like want to like on a slack line almost, like when you pop down, it kind of pulls it forward. So if you just point the rod tip back at where you were and you pop again, even for that split second, just lifting that rod tip made it slack again, and you'll pop it. And a lot of times it'll like dart back and forth and stuff.
Right. Okay.
So you could work it back in pretty fast. You could pop it twice and then just leave it sit there for a minute, 2 minutes, not move it at all. It doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want. You could cast it out and just reel it back in. These don't have a lot of action. Yeah, they don't have a lot of action when you just reel straight, but some of like the husky jerks from Rapala, depending on the ones that you're using, people troll with those. Like behind the boat, they'll cast them out and just troll with them. It's kind of like a slow moving action and stuff. So you can just cast it out and retrieve it. And because it is such a slow moving with the bill the way it is, if you just cast it out and retrieve it, that might work really well right now with everything being lethargic and you're just swimming in a straight line. And it's just kind of swimming like this, and then the walleyes behind it just kind of going
with it.
Oh, what's this guy doing? I guess I'll eat him. You know, I just
and just give that little bit of energy more to snatch something that it views as positive calories.
Yeah, and I think what makes this so versatile, especially when you have a suspending, is you can stop it. So you can. There's almost I can't think of a bait that you could fish slower, because you can literally stop it in the water wherever it's at and just not do anything with it, and then pop it, once every minute.
Man, that's weird to think about, because you never see anybody fish like that. I never do. Like, you never see the pros fish like that. You don't see like fishing videos like that. I mean, there's obviously something to. Oh shit, man, we got to wrap this up. But okay, yeah, hit me with that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
because it turned into a different topic, right? Like, I didn't see it going into how to fish the shitty weather. Is now we're doing a mini topic on it.
It is, a little bit. It's kind of because it's so interesting. I was thinking about it too, but like, this is like a lipless crankbait. Like, here, I'll try to hold it by the line tie where you tie the line on. So if you tie the line right here
on the top there, like it's basically on top of the lure, like right where the dorsal fin would be on a fish.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got the two hooks hanging.
Yep.
But that'll swim through the water like this, and that just vibrates. There's no lip on that. It just vibrates really fast. That has a rattle. Most of them do. So you got that. So it's like a high vibration and stuff. And you can use those when you're ice fishing. You can just rip them up and down. You just rip them and, and then let them fall, and then you can rip them. So that is really good in the springtime and the fall time in cold weather because it's that tight wiggle, that tight vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can use those when you're ice fishing, then that's another thing that would work really good. And that's one where you can cast it out and you can just reel it, straight retrieve it, just like you can feel it in the bait. Or you can kind of yo-yo it out. You can work it almost like a jig. You can cast it, you can let it fall, rip it up, let it fall, rip it up, let it fall. But that bait is only ripping it and letting it fall or reeling it in fast. If you pause it, it's falling to the bottom, and with those dual treble hooks, whatever's on the bottom, it's probably coming back up with it, and then the action's not going to work right for the rest of your retrieve, where this is going to be sitting high in the water column, pausing wherever you leave it. So this, I think, is so much more versatile, and it lets you play around with stuff. Where, you know, some of the other stuff you have to be, you know, you have like one of two options.
Right.
And you have to do those, and
you have
maybe
to do
they'll
one
work.
or two.
Yeah. And maybe they'll work, but it doesn't give you the chance to play around with them much.
Right.
You can't slow it down as well, you know?
Okay.
So, anyways, that's.
No, I know it turned into a mini topic, and I just want to wrap it up but it was good. It was really good, man. I'm even thinking about how I might just peel this one off and like put it somewhere. But, anyways, mind back on track here. Let's jump into the 2024 goals. We're going to take a break. We're going to jump into our 2024 goals. We already have them written down. We're going to talk. This is sure to go another hour, I'm sure. This is a big episode. But you know, an hour a topic. We're going to get into the 2.5. Some hang in for the ride. Let's take a break. Let's regroup. Let's reset from our, you know, like good, but we realized we did not accomplish a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Good conversation, not a lot of success. Let's regroup and talk about the 2024 goals here. Coming up in the second half. Hit the break.
Real.
Here we are, patreon.com/realaftv. That's right, patreon.com/realaftv. Real like fish and reel. We are on Patreon, and we are coming to tell you, and by we, I mean me and Tim, Real AFTV podcast here, coming to you to say we have a Patreon as low as $1 a month, but hey, you could go up to 100 if you really wanted to get crazy with it. It's there. Go over to our website, realaf.tv. You can find the Patreon link right there, or go to Patreon and look us up, Real AFTV, Real Like Fish and Reel. And we have things like, for $50 a month, we will customize, what kind of tackle is it, Tim? We have some in the warehouse right now that we haven't actually ran out.
A lure. Yes.
A lure. Thank you.
Is a crankbait.
Crankbait.
Yes, we will customize a crankbait for you.
At the $50 tier. Also, Patreon, if you're new to the whole Patreon thing, if you're on a podcast, you're probably not that new to it. But Patreon is something that you can jump in and out of. Like if you do $50 this month, bam, you get the custom lure, but you don't want to do that for the whole year. You jump down to the $5 a month tier where you're going to get early access content. You can help vote on the random take, one of the random takes for the month. And, you know, we'll keep up with you on Patreon as well. Like just a direct Patreon contact. There's communication you do only through Patreon. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're new, there's just a little intro to it.
Yeah. And to clarify that custom painted lure is a fully custom painted lure, like the pattern and everything. That won't be just something that we have a lure that we just like write Real AFTV on.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for clearing that up, because yes, it's a slug, for lack of a better word, right now, and it will be turned into something.
Right.
I'm not good at the whole fishing lingo, so maybe Tim, you could evaluate on that a little, or like elaborate on.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now it has no color, and I will give it color.
There we go.
It will look like a bait fish imitation of some sort. It might not be exactly colored. It might not be realistic. Some of that stuff out there that the different companies work with makes different stuff, but it will be a custom painted lure, and it won't look like dog shit. Because not to be like too full of myself, but I have some talent.
You have some artistic talent. Yes. Yeah, very true. If you know friends and family and stuff like that got a few bucks to kick our way, let them know. RealAF.tv. Scroll down a little bit. There's the Patreon link. It'll shoot you right over. Sign up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast, show about fishing random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. This is the second half of the goals episode. This is going to be our 2024 goals. I didn't do the 0. I just went 2, 2, 2, 2. 2024. Man, I fucked that up again. Doesn't matter. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you didn't even see it. So who gives a shit? Moving on. Tim, fishing goals for 2024. This is a fishing podcast from top to bottom, even though we got the split in there like normal. And if you're coming back from the break and you just rolled with us on that hour or so with our 2023 goals, look, the energy stayed high. We didn't get negative, but we didn't do great last year. Our goals are mostly not achieved.
Yeah, we shit on ourselves the nicest way possible because we don't hate ourselves.
We're going to keep trying to roll that into this one, right? Like we're going to keep trying to roll this in, that positive, that more positive vibe into this and say, hey, we're going to hit these 2024 goals with enthusiasm.
Yeah. Because we're going to do better this year.
Yeah, I think our list got shorter, and a lot of that has to do with what happened last year.
Yeah.
And maybe we tweaked them. Let's see. So, Tim, let's actually you kick it off.
All right.
Because I'm looking at it now, and you had some that went back and forth, because when we were talking about our 2023 goals and we were reviewing them, we had some highly connected ones. And one of them was this: put more footage in the can.
Yeah.
Now you have written down, you read it, but we had one where we were talking about putting more footage in the can, and you went into it and you're like, okay, we'll talk more about that. Let's kick off our 2024 goals with that specifically. You were talking about in the 2023 goal, how you you feel like you're alienating yourself in a social situation, because usually when you're fishing, it's more social, your whole family's involved and stuff like that.
Right.
But you turn on that camera and you're like, oh, fuck, I feel weird. So a lot of times you don't turn on the camera when you mean to.
Right. And a lot of times I've been sitting there thinking about it, and we touched on it in the first half, where it's just like I feel like I'm kind of alienating people, and a lot of times I just feel weird and stuff. And then I kind of realized, like, it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. If I turn on the camera, whatever, just act like it's not on. Or maybe I'll just wear it all the time, and then you won't know what time it's going to be turned on.
When it's not.
So what I wrote down was record regardless of who's on the boat. No reason the family can't be in the video. Says me. Fuck their feelings. That's what I wrote down. I put it as a goal. And then I said, write down my shit. So I got my notebook and I'm writing it down right now. And I'm going to write it real big, because my son can't read well. If he comes and sees it, I'm going to write, fuck your feelings. But he might know that. He might be able to read that word.
Watch. Yeah, I was going to say, out of all the words he can read, watch. I mean, he's 5 years old.
Oh, he's getting the letters, though. He's sounding shit out. He's starting to understand stuff. So he'll maybe come down and see it and be like, fuck? Say fuck? Or he'll sound it out, then say it, and then just go,
right. Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm literally writing it down right now.
Yeah.
Record.
And I had to take a break.
more.
I had to take a break to get a drink there before we go into it, because there's a way that we produce videos. Like, we don't have much to go off of. We have some stuff we haven't released. We have only 2-3 videos that we've released. But we have a way of producing videos where, you know, there's always a back and forth and stuff like that. I think if it was you and your nephew out on the boat and he swears when he's around you, but he doesn't when he's around his mom. And I'm just saying, this is a fake example, right? Like, I'm just making things up. That I pick up on that, and I will mute him, cut him. Like, if he ends up swearing on camera on accident when it's just you two on the boat, I'll cut it.
Yeah.
Because I just have that general, like, understanding, connection, like, belief. Like, I just get it, right? So, like, if that was this, I'll cut it. And it won't make it out. It's not going to make the final cut. It's not going to get put on the internet. And I think in this case, like you're saying, like, fuck their feelings. It's like, yeah, dude, if you put it in there and something seems out of place or whatever, then it just doesn't belong in the video. And I think that we're pretty good at knowing each other's ideas when we're exchanging footage, because we talk about this stuff enough. You know, we've collaborated on things before, and I just think that, like, I think we can figure it out. And like you said, if you're just rolling, I think the edit will come from that.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So I like that. I like that you put that on there, because I think it'll work out. I think that there can be videos, and even if it just results in short videos, that's one of the things we've talked about quite a bit on the podcast. It's like, you can have 4 hours of footage and you can get 30 seconds out of it. There's a lot of work that goes into getting 4 hours of footage. And sometimes it's only a reel video. It's only a TikTok, right? Like, that can feel rough, but sometimes that's just the truth, especially when it comes to fishing. And, you know, because, I mean, the nature of fishing, right? It's a lot of patience.
Yep. Yeah. I was reading through. So, like, I'll say, because we can get into more of it too if you want to, because I don't know what more to say versus a lot of what I had in the first half. Okay. You know, like, I only wrote down 2 things, because I think everything else that I need to do is just carried over from last year. Where
but I want to talk about that, because I'm gonna put these up on the website. Like, these are going on realaf.tv again right at the top. I'm gonna change it to 2024 goals. Okay. I'm gonna paste them all in there. So yeah, man, let's talk about that. Like, what you're bringing stuff over from last year?
Well, it's like, build confidence is on the ice fishing. That still, you know, should happen this year. If it doesn't get colder, I don't know what the fuck to think.
I literally have that down. So I'm just going to jump into mine right now and just throw this on the table. Is ice fish again in 2024, because I said ice fish in 23 didn't happen. I said, I'm doing it again in 2024. And I said, if we get walkable ice, I even just said walkable ice. Yeah.
If we could just walk on it. Yeah.
So back to you. Sorry. I mean, there it is. There's my goal. Good. That's going up on the website. What are you saying with the build the confidence in ice fishing? Like, you want to move that as is, or what?
Well, I'm just saying, as is. Like, that's another thing. Like, I want to get out there and I want to test it. You know, I did build the confidence, but I want to get out there and, like, actually put some fish on the ice.
I got
you. So, you know, I don't think we need to write down more than what it says there, because I know what it means, you know, for myself.
Yeah, for sure. So it would just be making it just more words. It's like word salad at this point.
I want to have that real world confidence, not just being like, you know, I've learned things and I think this is how things should be, and I'm confident that I know how to do things, but I want to get out there and put it together and know that, like, what I thought could be is.
Right.
I don't if that sounds, but
Yeah, no,
the
because
other thing,
I think maybe I can, because I said it before in the other one too, is you talked about it in the review of like you did build your confidence. You did um, do the pre-work, right? It was the real
yeah,
world actually getting out there and getting it to happen, that the weather just really wasn't that cooperative. And so it was, you did
the
build your confidence from like a book learning
yeah,
standpoint, but getting it out and putting it to the test in the real world, that just, that part did not pan out.
yeah. Do I tell you what? The weather has been a big hindrance overall this year. So hopefully 2024 cooperates a little bit more
Yeah.
with the weather, because
Yeah.
part of the dogfish thing too.
Yeah.
So with the dogfish, I'm still not giving up on that, but with the dogfish, you really got to set aside some time to just be like, I'm going to tie something on and cast it where I've seen dogfish before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to sit there. I'm not going to move because I
Mm.
know that casting a lure hasn't got the job done.
Mm-hmm.
I need to put on some live bait of some sort up
Mm-hmm.
where the weeds are thick, and I need to hope that something just comes and grabs it. Because
Oh,
those dogfish I still see there, but they go deep into the weeds like a
okay.
snapping turtle. I think I got to put something stinky on, like a catfish or something, and just
Like,
leave it sit there.
oh yeah, kind of fish
But the
them like
problem is,
catfish almost in a way.
yeah. And one of my thoughts was last year, I took a week off of work and
Mm-hmm.
we just went to the cabin.
Right.
That was like the hottest week of the year.
Yeah, it was. I remember that.
So, yeah. So the majority of the time spent was just insanely hot,
Was swimming
right?
because
From,
just staying
yeah.
cool because there's no air at the cabin.
Yeah, exactly. It was just swimming and then like driving into town to like go eat supper and stuff.
Right.
So we also left the cabin a couple different times to just go into town where we could find some AC
Sure.
and sit in there and cool down and have a meal and stuff. So there was a lot of time spent not fishing over that week. And it's really, it's really hard to try to catch a dogfish when you're doing the weekend warrior thing. When it's like, I want to catch a fish. I
Oh.
got 2 days,
Mm.
maybe Friday night, all of Saturday, maybe Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And to be like, I'm going to dedicate
Damn it.
good fishing time to just sitting here and hoping maybe something bites in the shallow, weediest part on this big
Right.
live bait
When you're
is
like,
kind of,
hey, I could be hunting walleyes because I'm getting hot on their trail, or I know where the
yep,
bass are right now, and that's
yep,
probably going to be popping every 3 out of 4 casks or some
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
It's hard to not
Yeah,
go chase the like steady thing,
yeah, exactly.
or go get
So,
some food because you know where the crappies are. Like same with the
right.
walleye, but like
Yeah,
yeah, the
yep.
temptation, man.
Yeah, so that makes it tough. So I don't think I really need to change anything with the dogfish. It's
But
just like I really
you're gonna
need.
keep it. Like you want to put it down in 2024.
I want to keep it, and
Yeah, man.
I want to kind of like a secondary goal of that is try to like plan out a time for when it would actually work. Try to figure out
Oh,
what it takes to get out there, to set aside a time, because that one feels weird too. Because sometimes other people want to go fishing and stuff, and it's hard to be like, hey guys, I know you guys want to go fishing too. I'm gonna go sit close enough in the boat that you can see me from the cabin, and I'm gonna do nothing. I'm
I'm
just gonna,
experimenting. I'm
ah,
trying
yeah,
something new.
I'm just gonna sit right there, and I'm not gonna do shit.
Is that
But that,
pay off for you? Like, is the hunt like that? Is that something that pays off for you? Is that why it's a goal? Because if that happens, like if you do catch a fish, is the payoff worth it?
yeah, dude, because
Yeah,
it's.
yeah, man.
I mean, I think like I feel like people can relate to it a lot more, uh, like sports cards or like Pokemon. It all like I've talked
Mhm.
to about it multiple times,
Yeah.
but it's like think of it like in the Pokemon Go game,
Yep.
or like not, or just back to any of the games when you're grinding it out.
That's what I was going to say.
Because
It's
you
like
want to
grinding
get
in
that
an RPG. Dude.
Yeah. When you want to get that shiny, when you just keep going because you know that there's a possibility of a shiny.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to get that shiny.
Right.
The work that you're doing to get there is boring and mundane, and sometimes it can like downright just suck. It's not that fun to do.
Right.
But you're still playing a video game, That's still the same thing. You're
right.
still
You're
fishing.
Still fishing.
It's just not the kind of fishing you want to do. But when you accomplish your goal of getting, like that dogfish, at least in the lake that we're fishing in, that's like one of the rarest of the rare. Like you see them, but I haven't been able to catch them. It's that elusive, whatever it might be to you, that you're just not able to possess. And that's what I'm trying to do, is try to get at it. Like I know they exist.
Right.
I just got to figure out how to catch them,
Right.
Or it's that, that video game where you see them on the other side of the hill.
And
you're like, I know they're there. I want that shit. I got to grind to figure out how I get to that side.
Yeah. For me, it's this, for a little bit of reference, for me, it's like Final Fantasy VII, when you have and I'll keep it basic. I won't throw names or anything like that. When you have your ship, you have your airship, and you can fly over this island.
Yeah.
That is in a very specific spot where only a certain kind of chocobo can get to it. So you have an airship and this fucking island exists and how to get there, but you have to grind it out with your chocobos in order to get the right one to get there so you can get in that cave. And it's all the grind's worth it, dude. It fucking pays off. So I figured that was the case, but I just wanted to talk about it because you're just like, I gotta sit there. I just gotta sit. Gotta set aside time and sit. And it's like, is that fun?
Right.
The answer is yes.
Yes, it will be if I accomplish my goal. If not, it's still not a bad time.
Right.
But
because you're still fishing.
It will feel like wasted time.
Right. Because that's kind of we share that point of view, I think, on the world, is like, if you don't have success, it feels wasted. But then at the same time, we have Real AF TV where we're like, hey, going out and making mistakes and having those fails is how you get better. Like,
true.
I have that duality in views too, where I have a hard time looking at my own failures in a way, for lack of a better way, let's just say it that way. I have a hard time looking at my failures as an opportunity where I actually learned something, when really I did, but I still look back at it as like, fuck, what a waste of time. I could have been doing something else. But and I'm working on this too. I'm trying to get that spin, because again, one of the things we keep saying about Real AF TV is like, embrace the fail, because the fail is what you learn from. But but there are these so many moments where you look back and you're like, fuck, well, if I wasn't wasting time looking for dogfish, I probably could have, filmed a sweet bass video instead.
Right.
But it's reframe. You got to try to reframe those what feel like low points, because like there's still something there. There's a lot there. You learn. You were trying to achieve a goal. So yeah, man, I do it too. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay. I moved dogfish on there, and I also put the little side note on there is plan it out, set time aside.
Yep.
So I put that on there. Writing it down. Are you writing it down? That's your number. That's what you have here, is write down goals. You already showed it in the other half. There's the notebook. Writing it down. Did you write this one down again?
Yep. Writing it down. I got one that I wrote down that's not in there either.
Oh yeah.
Because I sent you the video of it.
Yeah.
We got that camera in the ice hub.
Yeah.
Looks sick.
It looks
those ladies,
so sick.
Yeah. It's some like the fishermen, fisher ladies, whatever you want to call
Whatever.
yourselves.
Yep. Some lady fishers.
A squad of ladies. There's like 8 of them, and they put that camera in the ice hub, and then they put it with some dope music too. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't understand reels and how you like see the credits of the music yet. But yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It was
dude,
sick. So tell me more.
I just wanted to put that in there. You know, I think it looks sick how they're all just like dancing around, like editing up to music and stuff. But it is surround sound featuring 21 Savage.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah.
I know how to look at the music, but a lot of times for whatever reason, they'll post the music, but it says original audio from this person. And I don't know if it's like,
dude,
because they edited some stuff and then they put it in to reels and it's technically on their edited video. So it says that it's original audio from them and not the soundtrack. However it works, but there's so many times that it says it's their original audio and it's not.
Yeah. I don't know how that works because I've only ever uploaded original audio, but I know exactly what you're saying. It's the completely edited video on a trending song, and they didn't use the trending song. They actually edited over the trending song, rendered it out and uploaded it. And now short of reels, short of Instagram recognizing it through audio scanning, it's not tagged because they didn't actually use it through reels.
And I got to tell you, man, does audio make a difference. I was just looking at the clip without the music.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of dorks dancing around the night.
Yeah. Because I watched it on silent at first because my phone was on silent. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, they're dancing. Yeah. I get it. This is very TikTok-y. It's cool. But that's why I wanted to ask the question is like, okay, explain it more, because like, what do you even mean? Like, what are you writing down? What am I writing down?
I think it would just be cool to even like, if it's not an edited video like this, like I just want to accomplish that goal of getting on the ice, setting it up like that. Yeah. If we fish and we catch some stuff, great. Cause I don't really have a lot of episode ideas or video ideas for the ice fishing because we're still in that stage of like get more confident on the ice.
Right.
So maybe it's just a situation of set it all up, get it recording.
Yep.
And then we'll just go from there and see what it does.
Yeah.
But check this out. See?
Yeah.
It's a dope little thing. Yeah. And I gotta say, I sent you that video. That girl, I want that Wonder Bread hoodie. I don't know who makes it. I don't know if it's actual Wonder Bread brand. I don't know.
Oh, I think it's kosher. I'll look at it after, but I didn't notice it. It's a Wonder Bread hoodie. Just says Wonder Bread on it.
Well, no, it's the color. It's like so there are like clam, and maybe it's even a clam hoodie, and I haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. Clam has like a lure that is Wonder Bread color.
Oh yeah,
and it's white with like the speckles and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like I took a screenshot and zoomed in. That's the girl. Oh here,
dude. Yeah, that's the lure that I have that I was talking to you about. Yeah. I don't have those exact colors, but dude, that's sick. That's the Wonder Bread circle dots. Yeah, you've talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah,
it's the red and the yellow and blue dots.
Yeah, exactly.
And because this is an ice fishing video, you're thinking that is a Wonder Bread lure hoodie.
Yeah, and
dope.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I want that. I don't know, or maybe she just put it together. Maybe she has like an actual Wonder Bread hoodie, and she's like, I'm wearing this.
Right? Yeah, she's just connecting the dots. Yeah,
literally. Oh,
connecting the dots.
So, anyways, yes.
So I'm just putting that goal down as overhead ice fishing footage.
Oh, I'm writing it down. Find Wonder Bread hoodie.
That's another goal. I'm not going to put it on here, but that's a good goal. Because it's hard to explain that video short of like it's overhead. It's like basically it's just an overhead shot, but they're well coordinated. I mean, they choreographed and shit like that.
Yeah.
And caught fish and, whatever it may be, but riff off it. That's what the idea is here. Overhead ice fishing footage. See what happens.
Right.
See what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I just love the idea of putting like the camera up there, even if it's not the VR. We got the 360 cam.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would do if you hang it upside down and put it on the top there.
Oh, I could tell you what it would do, but we don't have to talk about it right now.
Right. We'll have to chat about it and then maybe go see what it looks like.
That's right, dude. You can probably edit it in VR now with them. Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, I just have to get like a cord that helps because, man, the battery life, I tell you what.
You wouldn't be able to edit a full video. The battery
I unplugged it from a full charge, went and like turned on the one app, played in there for like a half hour, and I was down to 82%. It dropped 18% in like maybe 30. It was faster than 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It dropped 18% in maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I think you get like 2 hours on a charge.
Yeah. When you're really getting after it.
Yeah. There are ways of combating it. But yeah, that's the only gripe is like, how do you fix that?
That's tough.
The biggest answer I saw, if you want to keep it wireless, is spend $75 on accessory that is half off for the holidays. Normally sells for $150.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, or maybe it's always $150 and it's one of those websites that's always just
like, that's just everything's on sale all the time.
Yeah. Everything's on sale. Don't miss out on this sale because it's only going to last for the next 2 days. And as soon as those 2 days are over, it's just like a new sale. We've extended the sale. You're lucky. You better buy it now.
that's the furniture store motto.
Right.
It's fucking President's Day weekend. You're like, President what? President's Day weekend. Come on in, and it's only now. These deals aren't gonna last. You got to come in, and then next weekend they're like, it's the beginning of summer weekend sale, and you're just like, yeah, you just ran the same ad with different words on it.
Right.
One said President's Day, and now this one says start of summer. Same fucking sale.
Yeah. Don't miss out on this sale. The prices will never be lower. Also, never be higher.
Right.
It's not really that big of a deal, but they won't be lower.
They won't be lower. We're not lying to you. We can't. That's illegal.
We will not discount it more than it's discounted right now. We don't have the sale because we're not the manufacturer. We just sell everybody else's stuff and they tell us how much we can charge. President's Day.
Yep. Okay. So is there anything else you want to pull over from 2023? What are you thinking?
I think I said all of it already, didn't I? Wasn't that everything?
Oh, well, there is, put more footage in the, we got Catch a Fish on Kyogre.
Oh yeah. That one I'm going to do.
You want to bring that one over too?
For sure. That one I'm going to do when the weather's right, when it's a calm sunset, I feel like is going to be my best bet.
I love it. I'm picturing that. Like you painted a picture in my head when you said that.
Oh yeah. This is the Kyogre splashing in the sunset. Floop, floop, floop,
dude.
Floop.
That's awesome. So yeah, let's run it down. Write down your goals. Okay. You're already doing that.
Check.
Boom. Checking that off. But we're putting it on here because it's something we got to check back in on, right?
Yep.
We got to check in on it again. Okay. Record regardless. So just get footage in the can, but this time you have a very specific thing of like, okay, I always felt awkward. I'm going to try not to feel awkward around the fam and just hit record. If that's when the cameras are out, can come out, get them out. Build confidence and ice fishing skills. You're talking real world this time, like putting fish on the ice. Catch a dogfish on home turf with a little bit of a caveat of planning it out, because you got to just go and sit, scope it out. You got to play the long game. Overhead ice fishing footage, specifically taking inspiration from a video and just seeing what happens. It doesn't matter. Just get the footage, right?
Yep.
And then catch a fish with the Pokemons.
Yep.
All right, man.
That's Cayuga Luger.
I'm going to take C Real AF TV fishing goals off of there, because the Real AF TV ones I see is like a both of us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just cleaned that up, because we had it in your goals, because you had specifically brought up the 26 photos and stuff like that. But let's keep going. On to me. Pickled pike bites. I already said that one in before. Like I said that one's coming over for sure. I'm going to make that one happen. When I make it happen, I don't know. So I'm going to keep moving it, but I really, really want to make that one happen.
Yeah, dude.
You know, like I just have such a clear idea and plan already for all of it.
Nice.
That like, I just have to get a pike, which we always talk about. Well, that's the fucking easiest thing. You just drop a line anywhere in Minnesota, bam, you're going to get a pike. Well, it's not working for me, but I'm also not dropping that many lines. So
sure.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So this is a new one that this year came up, because this pond that I was scoping when I moved, has bullhead in it. And I'm like, dude, there's clouds of bullheads in there. And so I actually seen clouds of bullheads in a couple places that I've fished. So remember that time we went into fish fertilizer? We had that like dual fishing topic. And I talked about fish fertilizer and making the fish liqueur and all that shit.
Oh yeah, the liqueur.
Yeah. I put that down. Bullhead fish, make them into liqueur. Now, depending on where I pull these bullhead from, if I pull them out of a lake that I trust, I'll probably turn it into trying to fillet and eat them.
Sure.
But I'm not going to put that down, because the fertilizer one, I just have more confidence in making happening. Like I have more confidence in being able to pulling bullhead out of a trash body of water than I do a cleaner body of water. Because how I said I wanted to, last year I had said, pull a predator out with a ghillie on a local pond.
Yep.
So when I moved, I scoping some local water and their ponds, and I found bullhead in it that I'm like, I don't want to eat those. I don't know if there's bass in here, but like, I think I can get the bullheads out of there. So that's why I said, get bullheads out, make fertilizer, make a video. Probably a short. It says likely a short, but I'm probably like, I want to make a video out of it. And then, so yeah, I only have 3 on here, because of the way I edited down my 2020. So I only have 3 goals. Again, trying to keep it shorter, more realistic. I'm not trying to like let myself down more.
Sure.
Or I'm not shortening my list to let myself down or make it so I can achieve more.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, like not trying to shorten it just to make everything more achievable.
Right. I'm shortening it because it's truly the list of things that I want to do. Like I guess that's the way I put it. It's like, it's truly a solid list of things I want to do. Like there's no extra on there. There's no, catfish fry, make a short video. Yeah, man, I want a catfish so bad. I want to do a catfish fry so bad. I also want to crawfish real bad,
Yeah.
but like,
Right.
I just don't, if I'm being realistic and that's what I'm trying to do, it's not going to happen, even though
Right.
it's possible.
Yeah. Like that's one of those, it's like the side mission
Yeah, dude.
where you have the
Yeah.
main storyline and then that side mission might get accomplished,
Yeah.
but it's not necessary.
Yeah. And that's what that's what I'm doing. I'm putting down my story beats right here. And that bullhead one is the one that I was talking about earlier in the 2023, where I was like, that bullhead goal became a goal of mine in 2023, like in the late summer through the fall. It became a goal of mine to try to achieve that one. And it distracted me from the other ones that I had on my list.
Okay.
And so I didn't achieve it in 2023. So I definitely want to do it in 2024. But like, my thought process and my planning and the like, 3 things have to happen for this goal to start, right? And I would do 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And that process distracted me from just taking a frog out and throwing it and trying to catch a pike, or trying to catch a predator, or throwing the gilly in the local pond just to see if there are bass in there,
Yeah.
when like that was only a one step. It was show up at the water with the gilly tied on. And instead I would do my own mental gymnastics of like, oh, I bet you I could go get those bullhead though, but I need live bait for that more than likely. So I got to go get live bait. So that should be this. But okay, so you're all ready, but you're going to have to go get live bait, and then never going and get live bait. Like, I distracted myself with it. And so that's why, like, catch a predator on the gilly isn't on there anymore, but I've replaced it with the bullheads, because now that's been something that I've deemed more possible. Like, I want to achieve that goal. I already got the steps in place kind of situation.
Sure.
So that's why I'm down to 3 this year. Let's go over to the Real AF TV goals. Home studio. Tim, your studio, what are you thinking?
I think that I'm going to get it carpeted and I'm going to move stuff probably back to where it was initially. As far as the whole home studio goes, I don't know what I'll be able to accomplish right now.
Yeah.
Because once we get stuff set up in the basement, I know a lot of my son's stuff is going to be coming down here. We're going to be setting up like a playroom.
Right.
So we kind of got to share the space.
Yep.
And some of the ideas that I have are like,
require
room. I can't room, and I can't be having all this stuff that is potential breakable stuff.
Yeah.
Around a 5-year-old with all his toys.
Right.
Where he'll be in the basement.
Yeah. So I'm just going to scratch it. Like,
from us.
That's a scratch.
Yeah.
Knock it down.
Yeah, I would say for right now, I mean, the home studio is definitely something that I want to accomplish. But in all reality, who knows? We're not 100% sure what we're going to do right now. We want to talk to a realtor. We want to talk to some home improvement people.
Right.
We want to see what other people think the best move is.
Yeah.
Like,
and so this has to take a back money in for sure.
Because we don't want this house anymore. We don't. We would like to have a different house already. So it's like, does it make sense to put money into this house before selling it? Is it in our best interest to just get out from underneath it right now? And can we still make a profit? And like,
and
we
get into something that you want with
right.
it.
It's like we definitely
all the considerations that go into
and all this stuff. Yeah. So it's like there's so much stuff, and it's like, so there's a lot of questions about what we are going to be doing with the house or with a new house before that kind of comes into play.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
it's like it's like every time I get serious about doing something, it just turns into something else.
Larger.
And now we're to, like, are you gonna make one of these rooms better? And it's like, I don't know. Am I going to make one of the rooms in this house better? This is still something I want to accomplish, but I don't even know what room or what house it will be done in.
Right. Yep.
So right now it's just, I would say scratch that for a goal of 2024.
Yep.
Because
the family has larger goals as far as like space goes. And that's what the focus needs to be and will be. And that's what happened to me last year. So now I have my little space, and I just put on here Josh's studio gets a look.
Gets a look.
Gets a look. I got an empty display case behind me. If you're not watching on YouTube, I got an empty display case on me that was full in the other house, but now I got to kind of reorganize it because I got other different collectibles that I want in there. I'm kind of taking into consideration that this is mostly on film for the fishing podcast. Not that I don't want it to still be me, right?
Right.
But just thinking about that, and then this color on the wall, I can do whatever I want. My fucking house.
Right. Right.
So, thinking about that, and then there's so much that goes through my head when it comes to set design, so to say. And I just want to give it a look. That's it. I mean, I'm not thinking huge here, but right now it has the look of incomplete space. And so throughout 2024, I just want to flesh that out. And just by the time we hit our, mid-season review come summertime, I hope to have like a follow-up or something, but that's it. I mean, it's just simple. Gets a look.
Yeah. A look. I like it.
4 short form videos. Tim, can we make it happen?
I don't see why not. I think that's a good goal to put down. If we're talking about filming and getting out there, we should be able to accomplish that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very reasonable goal. And I'm honestly going to be pretty pissed off at myself if we get to 25 goals and we're like, put it on the list again.
Yeah, I think 4 is achievable. And the reason why I picked 4 is because there's 4 seasons, like 4 quarters, 1 per quarter. And I'm not saying we do 1 per season. I'm not saying we do 1 per quarter. I'm saying it feels like you can, if you put it in like fishing perspective, you go, all right, we can get a spring one. We can get 3 out of the summer. We can get a spring one, 2 summers, a fall. We can get a winter one here in the first quarter, and we can get 3 in the summer. Like I just think about it kind of broken down in that way, using the seasons, and the activity of the season. The activeness of the seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think we should be able to do more than that, but it's like, at the very least, it gives a nice, goal to set of just like, at the very least, we should be able to do spring and summer and, winter and like all that just seems very feasible.
Right.
And I think the only thing stopping me from doing it is forgetting about it completely as soon as we're done.
Well, that's why I put in the goals here too, in the Real FTV goals, is because I don't want it to just land on your shoulders either. I mean, shit, if I do 2 out of my 3 goals, that's 2 of the 4 Real AF TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, I mean, there that is, and that's why I think it's so achievable too. So let's hope. And this could be something that would help us achieve that. Is I put down live stream fishing for like an hour. I want to live stream again. Like that was so fun.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be an opportunity where at least we can set aside an hour where I can be in the studio, you can be on the boat, or even if we're just out on the boat together and we're just streaming from someone's phone.
Right.
Man, there's got to be some time this summer or this winter if we're both out on the ice.
Yeah.
We don't have high hopes for the ice though. I mean, we already talked about that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, an hour. Like it feels like you got to be able to set aside an hour. We got to be able to set aside an hour.
There's no reason we shouldn't be able to. And if we're hitting it hot in the summertime and going bass fishing,
mm-hmm.
you give me an hour on the right day.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason we shouldn't be able to put a bunch of fish on camera.
Nice.
They might not all be big.
No,
but we're going to catch a bunch of them.
That's definitely not even part of the goal. It's just doing it. Because even last time, right, it was all about that time we did that big stream. It wasn't highly successful. In fact, I don't even think you caught any target species, but that wasn't. It was correct. It was about
because it was too earlier in the year. The water was still too cold.
Yeah, and tried different things and made mistakes and it didn't work. But it was like we talked the whole time. We had entertained. Like it was an entertaining 4 hours in my opinion. Having looked back at it and watched it, like scrubbed through it.
So
I was just like, God, dude, come on, we got to be able to do an hour. We got to be able to do an hour.
Yep,
I think we can.
I think so too.
That was it. That was that. Like that's the last one. I got those three goals down. Is Josh's studio. Link. No, there will be a link to all of these over on realaf.tv. If you go to the website, it's right there at the top. It's going to say 2024 goals. The 2023 goals is just going to be living in the podcast now. Maybe I'll save the docs. Because they started to give them sort of a ranking. So maybe I'll save the doc and we can archive that somewhere or something like that. Tim, did you get written down what you need? You got your fishing vision board, but it's just a notebook?
I want to make a vision board still. But yes, I wrote it down in a notebook. I just wrote down live stream.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good idea writing it down. I got to... Yeah. Maybe I'm going to bookmark the website. Anyways... That's it, Tim. I'm going to run through them really quick. Internet, help keep us in check. Join in the comments. Join in the social media exchanges and stuff like that. Help keep us in check. Hit us up in 2 months and just be like, hey, Tim, how's that writing down the goals thing? How's that notebook still around or did you lose it in the blizzard of January 12th?
I don't know. You think so?
Predicting the future. So here goes. Tim has write down his goals. Record regardless of who's in the boat. Just that stems from the get more video in the can. Build confidence in ice fishing skills. That one meaning specifically like put the fish on the ice using that confidence that you built through your book learning. Catch a dogfish on home turf with a little side note of got a plan for this one. It's the playing the long game situation. Got to set aside some time. The overhead ice fishing footage. Saw the video. Love the idea. There's a short too, probably, right? Like, getting into our neck. Okay, catch a fish on the Kyogre lure. Josh has pickled pike bites. Make a short or full episode out of that. Who knows how that was going to play out, but definitely pickled pike bites. Real AFTV video coming out of that. I say episode. Hopefully that can play out to be a full episode. Bullhead fish. Make fertilizer and a video out of that. Ice fish again in 2024. Hoping we get walkable ice on either end of the year. Here coming up in the next few months. Coming up in those later, November, December. I don't care what end of the year it's on. If we get some walkable ice, man, I'm hoping to get out on it.
Should be able to. You only got 3 months before you got to pull your Permanent's off the ice.
That's right. And then the Real AF TV goals, we just call them like group goals as a whole for the Real AF TV is get my studio a look here. 4 short videos total launched on, just launched, and then live stream for an hour. We did it so good in 2020. We did it up for 4 fucking hours. I think we can plan out an hour here, make this work.
Yep.
That's it, man. Like, subscribe, go over to Spotify, and you can do follows on that shit now. Reviews are huge, man. I didn't even realize how big a review really hits on the algorithm until I started to learn about like e-commerce and reviews and how the like Google shopping, because this year I was just Google something and then say buy behind it, and then Google shopping would come up, and I could see where I would get the hits and how many reviews were in it and shit like that. And so I'm just throwing it out there. Hey, go over to iTunes and leave a review. That's going to help a ton. I'm certain of it, based on the algorithms, behavior in other places.
Yep, for sure.
What else? Social media. Hit us up. It's all over on realaf.tv if you're looking for like that's the central hub. realaf.tv, central hub. All the links are there. Our iHeartRadio link broke, and I think I know why, but I got to fix that. I got to write that down.
Patreon.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
We got the Patreon. If you're trying to get a handmade custom lure, you want to get up in that tier, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But
for sure,
if you want to help us out, much appreciated. If you go over there, But if you don't want to spend any money, like Josh said, the best way to help us out is to give that review, like, follow, subscribe, all that junk.
Yep.
It's all matters.
It does. It really does,
dude. And I gotta say, when I look away from the screen and my vision is like blurry, you're like now, like last time we were talking with the chair, I thought it looked like you had like the back muscles where your arms were a little bit high.
Yep.
When your head's perfectly in the middle, it looks like you have like hairband hair. When I'm like not looking, I just see like it looks like you have just big, like
just giant 80s fucking
giant
hairband
80s
hair,
fucking teased out hair. Just be like, hey, thanks you all for watching. Leave the reviews. Good night.